What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome back to my channel. We got a little taste of the college football season on Saturday. And guys, I'm going to be reviewing every week 0 game here for you guys. This review is not going to be as long as the reviews that I'm going to do later down the line as the season gets going. So like my week 1, week 2 will be longer. Etc. There are probably going to be some of the bigger matchups, more interesting matchups, upsets, things like that. But of course, there were only 5 games. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be reviewing the 5 games that involved an FBS team. So again, if you're here for like a SWAC MEAC challenge, if you want me to review that game, that's not going to be on this channel. I am concerned with only the 130 teams in FBS. So before we get into that, though, guys, I know I'm not a college football expert. I know I'm going to get some things wrong. It's just my expectation. My expectation is I try to provide the most accurate information possible to you guys. But again, I know I'm going to get some things wrong in there. However, if you like what you see from me, you find yourself coming back, or hey, this is the first video of mine that you see and you like it, please hit that subscribe button. It does mean a lot to me if you want to hear my thoughts throughout the season. You also leave a like, share the videos, helps push it out to people who might not be able to see my content otherwise, and you can leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts on what happened in week 0. So now, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into my week 0 review. I got a lot to say about the first game that's coming up, so strap your seatbelts in. Click. Yep, good. Okay, because I'm going to take you guys on a ride for this one. Illinois dominates a sloppy-looking Nebraska in the FBS opener in Brett Bielema's debut. We'll get to the Nebraska side of things in a bit, but Nebraska loses this game on Saturday, 30-22. Brandon Peters goes down with an injury in the first quarter. Of course, the starting Illinois quarterback. Again, not sure what the injury update is on that, just like another player that we'll look at here in a little bit for Illinois. The injury bug kind of bit Illinois in this game, but Artur Sitkowski came in, and I don't think Illinois fans have a lot to worry about. If Sitkowski can play later down the line like he did in this game, if Peters is going to be out for a lengthy period of time, which it seems likely, I don't think Illinois fans have a lot to worry about. 124 yards for 2 touchdowns for Sitkowski. Epstein was great. Williams was great. You can look at their stats there. But Calvin Hart was a transfer over to this defense for Illinois and came in and was a leader. 6 tackles, 2 by himself, 1 tackle for loss, which happened to be a sack. Did return a fumble for a touchdown. More on that in a little bit. But again, injured his leg. Again, no injury report that I've read has been out yet as of recording this video. Maybe you guys can let me know of something that you've seen. It likely is that Peters is out for a little bit, and hopefully Calvin Hart can get back in there very soon. Let's talk about Nebraska. Statistically, Adrian Martinez had a pretty solid day. 232 yards, only 50% completion with 1 touchdown, 17 carries, 111 yards for a touchdown. Did fumble the ball, which that was the fumble that Calvin Hart returned for a touchdown. If that fumble doesn't happen, Nebraska might have won the game. You're going to see a pattern develop here in a little bit. Oliver Martin had a solid game for Nebraska, though, on the receiving end, and they did get Samori Toure involved in this offense as well. The rushing attack didn't really get going for Nebraska, so there are no stats up there, but besides Adrian Martinez. And by the way, 75 of those 111 yards was that 75-yard touchdown run. Read the defense well, and that's kind of the best offensive play Nebraska had all day. Cam Taylor-Britt, what are you doing? He fielded a lot of sketchy punts in this game, only had 2 tackles on the defensive side, but those punt returns should never have taken place. He returned and caught a punt on his own 1-yard line. So if you didn't watch the game, go back and watch that play. He fielded the punt at his own 1-yard line, and I don't know what you expect to happen. Not for it to be a safety, for you to get to the 30-yard line. Like, Illinois forced a safety out of that play, and it was well-deserved. And at the end, Cam Taylor-Britt just kind of threw it for him and was like, here, you can have it. No one else is going to pick up the ball, dude. That's a safety, and his knee was down anyway. And if Scott Frost was a smart man, he should cut Connor Culp right now. No, that's over-exaggerating. I know kickers have bad days, but 1 of 3 on PAT attempts, that's almost inexcusable. Again, if Nebraska makes those PAT attempts and the drive at the end of the game goes well, who knows what happens, right? But for the overarching story of Nebraska, in my opinion, if Nebraska had a better decision-making quarterback, not named Adrian Martinez, he was overthrowing receivers all game, was missing some wide open guys, Nebraska wins this game today. If Cam Taylor-Britt would have let some punts bounce back into the end zone and not have fielded them his own 5-yard line, Nebraska wins this game today. If Connor Culp makes those PAT attempts, Nebraska wins the game today. Now, I know that's not everything, But there's something that's got to change at Nebraska. I don't care whether that's football-wise, roster-wise, like culturally-wise. Something's got to change. If you got to get Frost gone, get him gone. If you got to bench Martinez, bench Martinez. Do something, Nebraska, because for a historic program like Nebraska to struggle this much over the years with a proven head coach in Scott Frost, it shouldn't happen. I don't necessarily want to say I feel sorry for Nebraska because going into the Big Ten, they were talking quite a bit of smack, but something's got to turn around for this Nebraska program, and it's got to turn around fast, or the state of Nebraska is going to set itself on fire. That's all I have to say about this game. Moving on now to Fresno State and UConn. So Fresno State shuts out UConn after the Huskies' strong defensive start. 45 points scored by Fresno State today, but they did not have an offensive touchdown in the first quarter. That was the Huskies' strong defensive start. You can look at the Huskies stats. Nothing too impressive over there, although I will say 433 yards on 11 punts. I don't think I've ever seen that many, but again, I've only started looking at statistics recently. Conversion-wise, they didn't do well either. Was outgained by almost 400 yards on offense. Now, Fresno State did have a defensive touchdown, a fumble return by Aaron Mosby into the end zone. Other than that, Hainer played well. Ronnie Rivers played well. Jalen Cropper was a real good weapon out there at wide receiver. Again, only had 3 catches, but one of those was a touchdown. It was just a complete, utter dominant show by Fresno State. And they got Oregon next up on the schedule. So we'll see what the Bulldogs can do. But I definitely underrated this Bulldog team coming into 2021. A very impressive 45-0 win here. I know UConn isn't the best of teams, but still to blow anyone out 45-0, it takes a lot. So for Fresno State, again, that game against Oregon looming large. We'll see what the Bulldogs can do in that one. That one might be closer than a lot of the experts think. But moving on here, Fresno State wins 45-0. Moving on, UCLA throttling Hawaii for a very important win, in my opinion, as LSU is next up on the schedule for UCLA. And at this point, I was like, yeah, UCLA can win that game against LSU, but a lot of things have to go right. They have to play a pretty solid game for them to win. Now, I just outright think UCLA can beat LSU. If they play like they did here and better, I don't think this is the best that UCLA can play because Dorian Thompson-Robinson was only 10 of 20, 130 yards and a touchdown, and didn't really run the ball a lot because Zach Charbonnet, the transfer over from Michigan, had a game in his return to Southern California to come over and play for UCLA, a team that I'm sure he grew up watching, being from the area. 106 yards and 3 touchdowns, I believe, all in the first half. So have yourself a day, Zach Charbonnet. Britton Brown also had a great day. The offense was clicking for UCLA. Now, they did take their foot off the gas pedal in the second half, but their defense did not. Their special teams got a block punt touchdown in the second half. Again, not a lot of offense really going for UCLA in the second half, but blowing out Hawaii. I thought this game was going to be relatively close, but if UCLA can play like this and they can just play a cleaner style of football, if you're a Tiger fan, I know Tiger fans have bounced on me about this in the past, but I definitely think UCLA can hang around. I definitely think UCLA can keep that game close. And you'll have to wait for my thoughts on that matchup on Wednesday when I do my week 1 preview, but I mean, Chavon Cordero was good for Hawaii. The rest of the team was not. UCLA played a very good game on Saturday, and they are starting off the season with a lot of momentum going into that game against LSU. Can't wait to watch that one again. That one happens next week. Listen for my thoughts on that. Monday, UCLA wins 44-10, and UTEP ends their losing streak against New Mexico State in the Battle of I-10. And Jacob Cowing had a career night, 158 yards. That's the most in his collegiate career on 5 catches, had a touchdown catch as well. Gavin Hardison played really well in this game. Awatt ran the ball well. Hankins ran the ball well. And Justin Garrett, their star wide receiver, played well as well. 4 catches, 74 yards. Didn't get into the end zone. And just nothing going for New Mexico State offensively. It was a sloppy game. I wondered how New Mexico State was going to play. But again, when you play in spring ball, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a solid team. Again, there were still a lot of questions, especially defensively, and it showed in this game for New Mexico State. The only thing I will harp on UTEP about in this game are the penalties. They did not play a clean game at all. You see there are 12 penalties for 140 yards. So if UTEP can clean that up, again, UTEP showed some signs of improvement last year, albeit their 3 wins were not the 3 most impressive wins. It wasn't against the most impressive of competition. But overall, UTEP maybe could surprise a little bit of people this year. They might be able to push for a bowl game spot. Who knows? Again, they got to clean up the penalties. And again, I think UTEP's just getting started. I think there's a lot to build on at this team. They got a lot of good pieces. So we'll see what the Miners do the rest of the season. But they get this win here in the Battle of I-10, 30-3. And then the final game that we saw on Saturday with an FBS team was San Jose State. I was really excited to watch San Jose State because I did not watch them enough last year. And then when I finally got to watch them, it does not look like they skipped a beat. Well, again, I watched a little bit of San Jose State last year, but watching them this year, they still look like a very, very good team. They cruised past Southern Utah's Nick Starkel. Again, like I just said, doesn't seem like he skipped a beat. Did have an interception, so a mistake on his part, but 4 touchdowns on almost 400 yards and carried the ball into the end zone for a touchdown, as well as did Tyler Nevins. Now, I was thinking, and again, Nick Starkel was going to have to find new weapons in this game. Agreed. He was going to have to find some guys that were going to come out and be some difference makers and be the new leading receivers on this team, as the top 2 leading receivers by a long mile, I believe almost 500 yards, are gone from this team. I couldn't put just one guy on this list. I had to put the team as a whole. 9 different players with at least 1 reception, 8 different players with at least 21 or more receiving yards, and 4 different players caught a touchdown pass for San Jose State. Nick Starkel was sharing the load in this one. The team defense played well as well. 8 tackles for loss on the day, as Southern Utah's only offensive touchdown was an Eagles-like flea flicker trick play type thing, right? Remember Nick Foles in the Super Bowl caught a touchdown pass from his own wide receiver? Yeah, that happened here. And they actually tried it twice, I do believe. And Justin Miller was on the receiving end of both of those. Caught a touchdown, but didn't throw for a touchdown. So for San Jose State, again, they got a game against USC next week. So we'll see how that one pans out. Again, I think that game can be a little bit closer than expected. That's an interesting game that you got to watch out for if you're USC, much like Fresno State and Oregon. But San Jose State doesn't seem to miss a beat from last season. They cruised to a win 45-14 in their opening game of 2021. So guys, that is actually going to do it for my week 0 review. Yeah, I know, right? Short video. Well, shorter video. It's probably going to be around 13, 14 minutes would be my guess. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please do anything you can help support the channel if you would like. I know you don't have to, but it does mean a lot to me for people that show support. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Remember to play hard, but tailgate harder, guys, as always. And I will see you guys on Wednesday when I do my week 1 preview, guys. The college football season is going to be in full swing next weekend. There are a lot of exciting games to watch out for. Again, I'm going to be previewing my biggest 10. There are others that I'm not going to talk about. And if you want to hear my thoughts on those, you can ask me in the comments after the video on Wednesday. So see you guys then. Again, my week 1 preview comes out on Wednesday. I'll see y'all then. Goodbye.